Steve, I'm going to start with you. 20 years ago, the idea of Apple and Microsoft investing in the same company as effectively investment partners would have been nuts.
They're more frenemies now. That's it's long. Yeah, that's it's long past. But look, Kate just called this a party round. Apple rarely joins a party like this. They almost never make huge acquisitions or huge investments in companies. Usually they snap up small startups for a couple $100 million here or tens of millions here and there. It's been a while. They put $1 billion back in, almost a decade ago maybe, into Didi, which is a ride-sharing startup like the Uber of China. And then they put another $1 billion in SoftBank's Vision Fund back in 2017. And then bought Beats Audio for $3 billion. But besides that, there's not much activity. This is a huge vote of confidence if Apple really is in this round.
OpenAI, a private company, right?
Private company, and that weird nonprofit structure. Yeah, that weird nonprofit structure, too. You got to keep in mind, if they want to go public, they're going to have to reorganize and restructure the company before any of these investors can see some kind of massive return off of that. And this is telling that that's the direction they're going. By the way, Sam Altman has made several hints this year that that is what they want to do.
Daniel, let me turn to you and ask about this AI super cycle that we seem to be a part of. Everybody gobbling it up, everybody with high ambitions and maybe even higher expectations for artificial intelligence. There's nothing that you've seen, not in NVIDIA's numbers, not in anybody's numbers, that would lead you to believe that the AI hypothesis is in any kind of jeopardy or slowing down at all.
Well, if I'm going to look for something that would indicate that there is any risk, it's more about the digestion period. The CapEx cycle is robust. We heard from Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, we heard from Mark Zuckerberg. All of them were pretty unapologetic about their CapEx intentions. They need to build out the future, the roads, bridges, tunnels analogy in order to make sure that they're competitive. I say they don't want to be caught, being the next Blockbuster or the next BlackBerry that didn't make the investment and weren't able to make the turn. Having said that, the digestion and then the ultimate consumption, Tyler, that hasn't proven out as much. We're seeing some of these use cases, companies like Walmart talking about how they're applying AI, but that's the bare thesis is, sure, all the CapEx spend, they're building it for the future, but what is it, 4, 8, 12 quarters?
It's not just Walmart. I mean, you had Mark Benioff talking at length to Jim Cramer about the way that Salesforce customers, in spite of the skepticism from their biggest customers about do they need Salesforce, he's saying, look, the agent force that we've deployed is going out everywhere. We had the Apple now being the top pick because of its potential future in AI phones. It just seems like the thematics of AI and the way that it is being adopted is fueling a lot of the excitement over growth.
Yeah, no question, Contessa, there's enthusiasm. What I was, responding to is Tyler saying, where is there a potential hole in the thesis? And the hole is that whether it's been ServiceNow, Salesforce, whether it's been Apple in the supercycle for phones, or it's been Dell and Lenovo and HP in the supercycle for these Copilot and AI PCs, it hasn't shown up in the incremental revenue as much as some investors would have hoped. So NVIDIA is getting 80% of the bomb. You saw some of this flow to Dell on the data center side and super micro. And then we've seen a little bit of this trickle into software, but it is these layers of network effect that the people are saying, when does AI start making money? When do banks and hotels and restaurants, when does it start to find its way out to the edge and become a monetized asset for more than just a handful of players?
Daniel, how do you think, Apple investing in OpenAI, how does that drive Apple's bottom line?
Well, Apple, so first of all, I call it the buy-build hypothesis. Right now, there's a couple of companies, NVIDIA, Google, that have built the AI. And then there's been like Microsoft and now Apple kind of were identified as not having done as much in-house. Apple was called out as being a bit late to the party. The stock has rallied with Apple Intelligence. Look, right now, we need to figure out, are people willing to pay for Apple Intelligence? I do not think they're going to pay for the software as much as some may think. But I do think these new capabilities in your email, these new capabilities with a Siri that we actually like to use is going to drive that exciting buying cycle for the next gen devices. Then Apple can figure out how to monetize. And having OpenAI behind it is powerful given what it's been able to do with AI and Siri in the past.